G'day, Kev Poulton, Mayor of Wodonga, back with yet another post-meeting wrap-up for Wodonga Council. We've had our February meeting and quite a few things discussed, including the probably biggest announcement is, of course, Baranduda Fields. The pavilion tender has been awarded, and that means we'll see something come up out of the ground out there now at Baranduda Fields. I know a lot of people have been asking about the progress on that. They've been watching for some months now, some of the civil works, the infrastructure getting put in underground and what have you, but this is the exciting one now, and I'd like to obviously acknowledge not only the council contribution to that, but also the federal government's contribution to the project and the belief in Baranduda Fields. Another item that we had before us was a discussion that's actually been happening for almost 12 years around Osburn Street. The council decided this time around to back in the officer's suggestions to prepare that, obviously with some conditions, for the school to be able to have a safer environment there for children. That's probably the main takeaway from that, and definitely unanimously councillors were keeping that in mind, the safety of children and pedestrians around that school area. So that is now ready to go once the trading of the car wash ceases, would be one of the conditions there. But the main thing is, after 12 years of trying to figure out how to best do this, we do have a solution. Junction Place is something that's extremely important, not just to the entire community. Obviously, all councillors understand they've got a role to play in the future of that site for development. And I think we all recognise and also respect the amount of effort that was put in to create that opportunity for a city heart to be reborn. I mean, you don't have to think too far back when you're thinking of train lines going through town, and when we're perhaps stopping at level crossings and trying to plan our transactions in the city of Wodonga around what time the trains would pass through and whether it would prevent us making an appointment on time. It feels like a world away, but obviously that's come back into focus now with Development Victoria making their announcement to separate with their developer, with their development agreement. Council obviously has a role to play whilst it's not our land. We're obviously very proactive and keen to have conversations with Development Victoria, planning ministers, and really anybody who's interested parties in that site. So we'll keep the community updated with where that gets to, and also what opportunity they will have. We'll work with Development Victoria to provide further feedback beyond what's already historically been created and provided. Another item was to purchase some LED street lights. This is actually a fantastic initiative. If you get a moment to go back through and read the report provided to councillors, please do. Essentially, this sees over 1,600 LED lights purchased and supplied, ready for installation at a later point throughout the city, upgrading our old technology of streetlights to something new, essentially very quickly and within the lifetime well and truly of the product. We see the cost benefit analysis. There's a nice accounting term, but we see those lights pay for themselves, and obviously they're a better impact on the environment as well than the current arrangement in terms of emissions and what have you. So smart way of doing business. Good to see that item before councillors for decision again. Let's talk Logic for a bit, because Logic is an industrial development which we know has been a piece of work, again, over many years. And this is what happens in the life cycle of a city. Some things don't just happen overnight. Logic has had some interest, and the council has supported SCT, obviously a well-established national business, freighting company there with their side railing at Logic. They've announced plans for extension and obviously servicing more clients and hopefully moving more product out of the northeast of Victoria via rail as the inland rail project well and truly ramps up over the coming years. So we've got commitment from them. They're not going anywhere overnight, which is great for the city, but it also then has a flow-on effect, I guess, to other properties for sale and what investment may come to our city. So watch this space, because it is a great asset, Logic. It was a great visionary piece of work many years ago now, and obviously the current councillors have it at their hands to make sure that asset is valued well into the future. But for now, some sales there, which is fantastic news. We had a couple of other determinations to make. One of those was around following public feedback, of course, on the revision of a lease with Wodonga Solar. They will obviously set up alongside Logic. Again, if you read the whole report, it will make sense to you. But essentially, that went out to public consultation, came back with no feedback. So councillors endorsed that decision to revise that lease last night. We also had before us the December 2021 quarterly financial report, which essentially creates a snapshot of things that may have changed over that 3-month period. Again, council endorsed that recommendation before us for that one. And we had another policy and also strategy document. The asset management policy and strategy document came before council for endorsement. I think it was last visited in 2014. So well and truly overdue for us to freshen that up and make sure that we're on track with looking after the city's assets. Again, council supported that policy and a strategy to be put in place. We had some reports for noting. One of those was the non-compliant delegation. This is the first time we've seen that before council. Really transparent, outlines what's happened, why and what course of action has been taken since. Again, please see the council agenda for the February meeting if you'd like to know more about that one. And as always, there's reports for noting. And because we didn't have a full agenda council meeting during January, we saw a couple of months bundled up together. Those reports for information included the planning reports for December 21 and January 22, the building reports for November, December and January, also our competitive services report for December 21 and January 22, our audit risk committee meeting, the summary of minutes there, and also the quarterly council plan progress report, the record of councillor meetings and the decisions register. I think we also had slotted in there too was the place naming committee minutes as well, which they're doing a wonderful bit of work, that committee. In general business, a couple of the councils reflected on the efforts of those in the community, as we often do each month, but particularly around the City to City event and the fundraising that was done for Albury Wodonga Health, another great community initiative. And by the way, it's sort of setting the tone now for other things that will happen within our region. We'll go committed full steam ahead within our calendars. So we look forward to supporting more of those events in the future for the City of Wodonga as well. Question time's always a good one. We have 4 questions this time around, 3 of those sort of operational based, one of those directly to councillors. Those questions are able to be asked at the council meeting each month. Check on our website to get the submission form and to also reach out to staff if you need to get guidance in how you can ask your questions of council. But those responses will be provided on the council website also. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell, the February meeting. Make sure you head to makewodongayours.com.au. As always, that website at the moment, we're asking all sorts of things about playgrounds at Belvoir Park, also what your priorities would be for the city as we approach building our budget. Stay connected with us. You can watch the full meeting of the council through our YouTube channel. But until next time, stay safe, stay well, and go Wodonga.